Hi everyone, it's Shay from Gosh, it's Football Adventures. Just gonna do a quick post-match interview. Apologies if my face looks a bit sunburned. So I was out yesterday visiting my brother at his new place and ended up getting a little bit sunburnt because I sunburn a lot because I'm so pale. That's why partly why I was wearing that hat that Callum's kindly let me borrow, the Naeem hat, the Welsh hat. Um, yeah, so 1-1 draw away at Witton today, which I'm not annoyed or anything about it. I think obviously we conceded again from a corner. That's 3 of the 4 league games where we've conceded at least one goal from a corner. But I think on the balance of play, it's a fair result. And yeah, it's not bad. We've got 8 points from 12, much better than last season. Obviously, it's always disappointing when you take the lead and you can't hang on, and when you concede right before half time, like we did against Trafford. But I think fair result. Obviously Scott McCaw's penalty. Well, that was a cheeky Panenka penalty, and also the at 1-1. I think Bailey made a brilliant save to tip the ball up, and it was actually Scott McCaw. We found out he actually played it off the line and it dropped down. So yeah, we could have ended up losing that in the end. That would have been really unfair to lose that, even though second half weren't so great. First 10-15 minutes were pretty good, and I think going forward we were the better team. I didn't think it was going to be that great of a game because it was only barely 2 days after our previous game. We played Friday night against Trafford, so they've really only had Saturday and Sunday to recover. So it's not really much time at all. As Brad was saying in his post-match interview after Trafford, he said he doesn't like these bank holiday games because you've got barely any rest time. But yeah, considering that and the fact we had Miller, Mosley out, still obviously Pete Wiley was back on the bench. We had them out. Jax Welsh is injured as well. So the fact that we had them players out, and fair play to the guys that come in, I thought they were excellent. The ones who come in. Considering that as well, I think points not a bad result. We don't have a good record at Witton really. I know we lost 4-0 in the league last year. Also, we beat him in the Cheshire Senior Cup 3-0, but league lost 4-0 last year. Lost 4-0 at home and lost 1-0 the year before, and it was New Year's Day. So I think the years before that, I don't think we've had many great results there. So if this was last season, we would have lost that. We would have lost the Trafford one. So 2 wins, 2 draws. That's decent. That's not bad at all. I would have liked it to be like 3 wins, maybe a draw. Of course, 4 wins would be perfect. But I've not looked where we are on the table yet, but I'd hope we're still in the top 5. Very long way to go. Another 38 league games, so it's going to be a while before we kind of get a feel of where we might be able to finish. Everyone, of course, would love to win the league, but the minimum we're hoping for is playoffs again. But I'd love us to just win it this year. I don't want the agony of playoffs anymore after the last 3 playoff campaigns. Obviously, last year we finished 11th. We were absolutely awful, nowhere near. But I'd love to win the league outright. But it's a tough league, and even though today you think, Witton haven't been doing so well, it doesn't matter because it's a tough league. I don't think any team is going to walk the league. I know Bury, I was told that some Bury fans might think because they'd walk the league easily, but even they lost again to Staley Bridge again, the league. So even they're probably realising now that it's not as easy as it looks. And I know clubs like Macclesfield have gone up a few divisions, and fair play to them, they've done well since they reformed going up. But it's a tough league, and you could be between first and fifth in the table and played someone down in 17th, 18th below, and you might think, these are rubbish, we'll beat them easy, but it's not like that. Every team makes it tough for you, and it's very, very difficult. It's dare say it's harder at non-league than it is in higher league because everyone wants to go up, and there's not much to separate a lot of teams. But yeah, I think if we can keep up, obviously, good form and put a run together and try to keep the defeats to a minimum and get quite a few wins, a few draws, I think we could definitely make the playoffs. But I'm not going to make any predictions because it's way too early. We'll have to see how the upcoming games go. Obviously, big shout out to Scott McCorgan. He was absolutely brilliant, sensational. He chased down everything. He put the keeper under pressure. Obviously, he won the penalty, got shoved in the back. That cheeky Panenka one. How calm is that to do that? And then clearing off the line when Bailey made that stunning save, as I said earlier. I was told by a friend Mike who was with that he cleared. Scott McCord cleared that off the line, and that obviously would have been 2-1 to Witton. That would have been we would have been really annoyed if we'd come out with nothing. So he's an all-round. He's not just a great goal scorer, Scott McCord. He's a really good team player. He gets back. He helps the team as well, even though he's a striker. He did well. I think Dec McLaughlin did really, really well. So, Matty Rain did well. Bailey was really good in goal. I know he might have had the odd hairy moment coming out of his box, but, he dealt with it and he was sensational. It was like Bailey of 2 seasons ago when he was... But I know he's a good keeper. I know he's got it in Bailey. He's very good at shot stopping and... he did very well. Who else we played? I thought Lewis Doyle did well, more for Neymar, and I think he struggled a bit to get in the game when he come on, but he did well eventually. I think Scott Cassani, he's joined us after 9 years. He didn't do too bad. I know he looked like he was struggling a bit, especially second half, but you never know, he could have had a knock or not be match fit, so I think maybe it's a bit too early to judge him. He needs a few more games to see if he'll get up to speed. See Bucky come on, he was good, won a lot of aerial duels. I think it wasn't. It was a performance I expected. Really, 2 days rest. I didn't thought it was going to be a bit of a scrappy game, and that's what it ended up being in the second half. But sometimes it's like that when you've not got much rest, and at least we've come out of it with some at a point, which is better than none. Let's hope that we can, get good results in the upcoming games. And obviously, Saturday against West Ed's been short, and there's not going to be too many of us there. I don't think apparently you've only got 15% allocation. I had to buy the tickets online. So I'm a season ticket holder, so I've got tickets for me, a wife and stepdaughter. Apparently 15% allocation, that's not many, so might still be a few tickets left for Linnets fans. If you want to go, just make sure if you do go on you select away supporters. I was told by someone that you should have had an email, so thankfully sorted them. So looking forward to it. There's no coach for it, so I'll either drive or maybe get a train. I'll see. It's a ground I've never been to, West Didsbury Chalk. I know Brad Cook, that was his first club. I can't remember if he managed there or played there. I think it might have been his first management job before he went to Atherton and then to us. As I say, for the Trafford highlights, I've put out on public from Friday night on our channel. It's it was obviously a hot day today as well. I hate this sun. You can hear me in my commentary. I just despise the fucking sun. Partly because I'm so pale, I just burn easily, and I've had heat stroke before and get dehydrated easily. It's just horrible. A lot of people might not like the rain or the cold, but at least you don't get heat stroke from that. Getting hypothermia is far more difficult than getting heat stroke, and you can easily wrap up and put a coat on and that and have a drink of tea and that. But this country doesn't have aircon in most places. Luckily my car has aircon. It's really lucky when you've been out there and you get in and put it on. But yeah, I can't wait for this heat to bugger off. Hopefully in a week's time or so when summer is over. Sorry, I sound like a miserable git saying that, but I don't. I just don't like the sun. I fucking hate it. I don't cope well in it because I've got long hair as well. It makes my hair sweaty and I feel like I've got to wash it every few hours. See there, where I've sun, but yeah, sorry, no, I'm not. I'm a heat hater, unfortunately. Well, not fortunately, I hate the fucking heat. And if you like it, okay, fair enough. But not for me. Not at all. Give me cold weather any day over this stifling, sticky, uncomfortable heat. But yeah, move on to Saturday's FA Cup game. It's the first qualifying round we've had to win, and we have to play the extra preliminary round, then the preliminary round. I don't know how many of these rounds we have before you have to reach the first. I think there's 4 qualifying rounds from the first qualifying round. So if we somehow won the one Saturday and then won the next 3, we'd be in the first round proper. But that's a massive ask, really, because I think from the second qualifying round onwards, I think that's when the teams like the divisions higher come in. Like I think the National League North teams and that start coming into it, because mine and Candy's first game, it was pretty much almost 2 years ago. It's September 2023 when we watched Linnets against Chorley Town, winning 1-0. Will Saxon scored his first goal, brilliant goal, stroke of half time, and held out with until 20 minutes to go and Chorley equalised. But that was a brilliant performance. Lost the replay, but it was really good. But God, I love a good cup run, especially the FA Cup. But we'll also have to see. Oh God, it's warm. But yeah, the next league game is, oh God, I've forgotten now. Obviously, got FA Cup game, and then there's the FA Trophy at some point. I know we've got the rearranged game away at Bury in beginning of September. It's a Tuesday night again, but thankfully there is a coach for it, and we've booked onto it because there's no way I wanted to drive to Bury midweek, not with all the traffic around Manchester. It's horrendous with all the rush hour. I've seen it the week. I just did not want to do that. I thought, no, thankfully, thanks to Chris for getting a coach on for Bury, and possibly might be a second one because the first one's full. Yeah, looking forward to visiting Gig Lane. Big ground, right? Because obviously Bury were in the Football League a good while ago, but I see like Runcorn, the original Runcorn, they went out of business, and Macclesfield and that, it's happened to anyone. So yeah, that'll be an interesting game for sure. And then we'll have to look at the rest of our fixtures. But yeah, it's going to be a long season and it's going to be tough. But I'm just praying we can at least get a playoff spot, even if it means the agony of, I feel like I can't take another playoff defeat. The one 2 years ago, 2023-24, yeah, when we lost to City Liverpool. I know. I think, did I do a post match in the? I think I did. Yeah, I just remember being in shock at the end of it because it was just heartbreaking to go on playoffs. But as I said at the time, I didn't turn up on the night. Despite getting second, that's the thing at this league. You have to finish first to go up automatically. If you get second, you get to play at home in both playoffs if you win, but you've got to go through it. So it almost seems a bit like you're the second best team, but that's how playoffs are. I know what people argue and say it should be the top 2 or 3, depending on what division it is, and there should be no playoffs. And I guess from that point of view, it seems fair because, but I don't think they're going to get rid of playoffs anytime soon. Obviously, as I said, winning the league would be amazing, but that's going to be very, very tough. It's too early to say, but it's going to be very, very tough. But you never know. We put a good run together, and that you never know what might happen. But we've got to. I'm sure we'll do well this season. I've got a good feeling. I know it's hard you can't say exactly, I don't like to jinx things, but definitely way more optimistic this season. Last year was mostly just, it was just awful. I think about halfway through the season, I think I just give up all hope of getting playoffs pretty much. It was a swim chance up until a certain point, but I was like, no, it's not going to happen. We didn't deserve it. But yeah, renewed optimism now, much better. Right, I think I might wrap up in a minute too. This has been going on for about 15 minutes, so this will probably take a while to get uploaded. I might put my aircon back on. It's roasting this car. I turned it off so it wasn't loads of background noise. Just sat in the Asda car park whilst on to get some antihistamine tablets because she's had a reaction on her arm because she was working at a Greenfield Festival for over the weekend, working there, getting a bit of cash. She must have had a reaction to some nettles or something in the field. So yeah, we're going to get home, rest up, and then get ready for Saturday. Looking forward to it. But yeah, overall today results. Yeah, of course you're always secretly a bit gutted that you don't win when you're ahead, but they said the save second half and Bailey and the clearance off the line for Scott McCaw, I take the point, and I'm not unhappy about it. Just a tad disappointed, but I think it's a fair result, and boys did well. I'm proud of them today, and they, it's hard out in that heat, and 2 days rest they've had. So yeah, it's a good point in the end, and hopefully it'll be a valuable point come the end of the season. So we'll see you on Saturday at West Didsbury and Chorlton. Come on, you yellows. See you then, guys. Bye.